Welcome back to the second session of HTML and CSS. In this section, first I'm explaining what is HTML and what is CSS, and after a very brief explanation about it, we will go to the first coding section and we will make some HTML tags and run it in our browser. So it will be our first coding. What is HTML? HTML is Hypertext Markup Language abbreviation. HTML is markup language, so it's not a programming language. And we use it to structure content in web page, and to do that, we use tags. We have different type of the tags. Each content that we are showing in the website and we are seeing inside the website, it have its own special tags. Some tags have closing and opening, like paragraph tag or anchor link tags that is using for paragraph and for links. Some other tags like image are just opening, so they don't have any closing tags. What is HTML tag? We use tag to tell browser what type of content and in which order must be shown. So as I said, each type of the content like image, paragraph and link have its own tag, and in this period of the tutorial I will explain all of these tags to you and you don't need to be worried about it. What is CSS? CSS is abbreviation of cascading style sheet. It's separate language from HTML, but it's going hand to hand with HTML, and we are using it to give a style to HTML content. We are using CSS to give a better style to HTML content. For example, features like color, font, size, and etc. will be created by CSS. Okay, let's very fast move to our IDE, and in the beginning I will give you some general explanation about the Visual Studio Code, the IDE that I suggested you to install in previous section, and then immediately we start our first coding in HTML. When you install the Visual Studio, the visual side of that application, that IDE for you will be a little different, and the majority of the difference is the icon that you can see in the left side. Some of these icons are extension and I installed it before, so it is normal that you will not have this extension and you will not need them for this tutorial. The only extension that you need to install in your IDE, and I will explain you how to use it, its name is Live Server. If you search Live Server, you will see this icon and you can install it. Right now I have it already installed. Instead of this uninstall, you will have install button, and by clicking on it, it will be installed and activated for you. It is possible that it asks you to relaunch the application, confirm it, and your Visual Studio will be rerun again, will be closed and opened again. What is the usage of this live server? When you make your HTML file and you run it, every time that you make change in your code, you need to refresh that page to see your changes. But using this live server, every time that you are making some change and you are saving that change, it is automatically showing that change inside the browser and you don't need to refresh anything. If I want to explain about the general things, here is the explore part, that you can see your folder and the files that very shortly we will open it. we will open our folder and I will explain my details. Here we have search, that you can search and replace inside one spatial folder or a spatial place. You can search the content. It's related to the Git. We will not enter to the Git explanation. And here is the extension, and this part is for debugging the application. For HTML and for CSS, you don't need to work with these parts, and most of the time we will work with Explore part. After opening this Visual Studio, I will click on Open Folder, and I will select the folder that I have created inside the documents, HTML. Here is the content of my folder. So if you have one project and there are some folder inside it, or there are some files inside it, these files and folder will be shown here. If you want to create one new file, you can use this icon. If you want to create one new folder, you can use this one. And for collapsing all the folder and making these trees smaller, you can use this icon. So the first things that we want to create is creating one HTML file. One of the options is clicking on this and writing index.html. It is possible that this icon that it is showing you here does not be exactly like what it have. It's also depend on the extension that you have installed, but it's just visual things and you don't need to be worried about it. All the HTML files are defined by HTML extension, and the reason that I put index name for it is that by default the web browser and the server that is serving your file in the root directory is looking for the index file. So it's one convention that you can define that index file, but it's not limiting you, and you can name it whatever you want. First tag that I need to define in my HTML file is doctype HTML. So this doctype is the only tag that have this symbol in the beginning and then doctype HTML and it's closing. It's one of the tags that does not have opening and closing tag. Then we will have HTML tag. As you can see, Visual Studio automatically are adding the closing tag for me when I'm finishing my opening tag, and it's one of the features that Visual Studio is giving to you. Inside the HTML tag, we will have head tag, and we will have body tag. What is the head tag and what is the body tag? Whatever content that we have and we can see inside the website, we are showing in the body part. So whatever we write inside the body part, it's going to be shown inside the website. But the content and tags that we are putting inside the head, it will not be shown inside the website. We will have, for example, title or meta tags that usually is using for SEO. In future video I will explain about the SEO and what is the SEO. But for example, the title that we are showing, that we can see in the tab of the browser, and such kind of information is inside the head. All the content that we are showing inside the website like image, text, and paragraph, and such kind of things, we are putting them inside the paragraph. So I will add title tag, and I will put HTML in code sandbox. Now I want to run this code. So I will run it in Google Chrome and I will see the result. The way that run it, one of the way is that I will right click on this file and I will click on Reveal in Finder, and here I have this HTML file that when I'm running it, it will show me. The title that I put, as you can see, is added in the tab, and the way that this file is running is file. It is written file because we run the file directly. We did not run it inside the server. We are not using IP or URL for that. Another way that we can run that code is that we right click on this file, or we right click in this page that we have our code, and we need to find open with live server. When we click on open with live server, it is opening in the browser, and as you can see, instead of file, we are running it with the localhost IP address. This IP address 127.0.0.1 is localhost IP address. And inside second condition that we run the code, we don't need to refresh the page to see the changes. Let's add one content to the website so we will see it, how it is changing and how it is need refresh. The first tag that I'm adding is paragraph tag. So it's starting and ending with P, and inside it I will write my content. Welcome to first section of HTML and CSS. The second tab that I opened it with live server is updated without refreshing the page, but the first file, the first tab, is not changed, and I need to click on that refresh so I will see this change. So I will close this one and I will have the live server. Another things that I want to explain is indenting. As you can see, inside these tags I use indenting. What is indenting? This header does not start from the beginning. My code is not like this. Even if I write my code like this, so everything starts from the beginning, it will not give any error and it will run exactly like what it was, but reading this code is much harder. So every tag that is children of the another tag, so every tag that is inside another tag, for example the HTML tag is starting here and ending here, so these tags, this head and body, are children of HTML. So with one tab I'm indenting them. Again, this title is children of this head, so it needs one tab to be indented. Body, again, it needs indenting, but this head and this body does not need to be more forward or more backward in compare of each others, because they are siblings. They are in the same level. In this section, the last things that I want to explain you is about inspect element inside the Google Chrome browser. Inspect element is one feature that is given to the developer for seeing the content of HTML, and it have many different tools that is helping developers. To open the inspect element inside the browser, you need to right click on your page, and the last option is inspect. By clicking on it, this menu will be opened. It might be downside, or it can be totally separated, like separate tab, and you can change its location with clicking on these three dots. But what is important is that here we have element, and all the things that we wrote inside the HTML file you can see here. You can see the paragraph tag, and by hovering on that tag inside the visual side you can see which part you are hovering. So by this feature, developer can make live change inside the code and see its effect, and also see the structure of the elements. Thank you very much for watching this video, first practical section of HTML and CSS. Please subscribe and press the bell, so the next video that will be uploaded you will be noticed, and you can follow this tutorial and use this information. If you had any question, feel free to write the comment, and I will be here to help you. Have a good day, and see you in the next section.